Welcome back. You're watching Morning Prime. Of course, we're talking about the gender issue and how best we can break the bias. International Women's Day will be celebrated on 8th March. That is next week on Tuesday. And I just want us to continue with that conversation. Of course, before we went for the break, we were talking about a number of issues, from how we need to change our systems, how we need to change our thinking, but then also, how do we start instilling these values to our children or society at a very early age?
All right, thank you, Ashley. And I think one of the ways that I think would be a very good one is to make sure that the school system is also in this journey with us, because the formation of how we think is really pegged on teachers, right from the nursery kindergarten stage. So these conversations about gender, about not stereotyping, need to be there. Not necessarily telling a 7-year-old, don't stereotype, but how you live it, how you demonstrate it really says a lot. That women can be scientists. It's just like science. Girls were showed women can be in science, and now we are celebrating quite a number of women in the science field. So teachers have a role, so they are a big factor to the success of the gender conversation. So I see our government, the TSC, the Ministry of Education, they should take a concerted effort to make sure that also the teachers are speaking this conversation and they are not making it worse. We are not building a classroom where we are showing gender differences. They are forging that oneness and that respect for each other. So that's another big win that they can have. It can start very early, so that whether it is leadership positions among the students, among the learners, it's actually being done in a fair way. And I'm very happy to say, as a parent, I have seen aspects of it coming in where we are saying now, they are going through elections. Now schools don't just choose captains. Teachers used to, when I was in school, I was chosen as a captain. I do not know even the criteria they used, most likely my academics. I did not have to convince anybody that I am a good quality of a leader. But today, my children who are 10 and 11, they are given a chance to actually put up their policies, what are they going to do for the school, and they campaign, and they actually go for votes. And that tells you they're being given, all of them are given a chance, and the teachers are saying, go for it, girls, go for it, boys, go for it. So that really opens up their mind in thinking the positions are available to as many of them, those who are willing to be on the forefront. Then mentoring them, obviously schools need to work with other actors to mentor children and help them to understand their role even as they are very young, so that we influence them. But you need to know who is that, who is not a feminist who is going to push them to the very extreme. They need to really look at who is that coming to speak to our learners, because these are very young minds, and what they hear becomes almost like gospel. So you need to moderate the conversation there, but it would be good to have those conversations in the schools. All
right, your final thoughts even as we wind up?
Awesome. My final thoughts on this whole gender, breaking the bias among women, my final thoughts would be, women, let's rise up. And for those of us who have seen the light, let's also look back where we came from, because we were many, but when you look, you've remained in a pyramid sort of, it's a pyramid at the end of the day. So what can you do as a woman in whatever space you are in to influence as many? Because until we do that as women, we also cannot expect a big change being driven by others. It's got to be owned by us, for the good of the whole world. And I believe each one of us have something, whether it is lifting that house help who is with you, whether it is lifting that guard who is at the front. So it's upon us, all of us, to take this agenda into our hearts and live by it, and not just watch and wait for policies and government to come and rescue us.
That's a very good place to end it. Thank you very much, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
That is Elizabeth Irungu. She is the General Manager, Business Development and Client Relations at ICA Lion Asset Management Limited. I hope you've gotten a few things that you need to implement even as you go on with your day-to-day work. And speaking of gaps and celebrating women, the country marked 11 years since the promulgation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 last year, a supreme order that ushered the promise of reproductive rights autonomy, including abortion.